If you just watched the video that I uploaded a second ago, this is a continuation. I'm doing them on the same day, but they're different subject matter, so I wanted to do a separate video. This is something else that I've been doing a lot of during the 13 days that I have not uploaded anything, is travel journals and wraparound binding. And wraparound binding goes very, very fast, so that is why I have made all these books and didn't take time out to film them, because I was was so fascinated by this process and seeing what I could do with it. It is very, very fast to put together a journal with the wraparound binding as opposed to the Coptic stitch binding or even the three-hole pamphlet stitch. Well, the three-hole pamphlet stitch is probably faster than wraparound binding and more secure than wraparound binding, but I'm going to do just one video of all of these books, or I may do one for the travel journals and one for the pamphlets. So let's get started. Now, the format for the travel journals is pretty much the same. I kind of developed a content for the travel journals, and I'm kind of sticking with that. So I'm not going to open all of them once I give you a general idea of what they are all going to contain. So again, the covers for most of these, or actually the covers for all of these, I think, are file folders, manila file folders. Some are embossed, some are treated to look like leather. Most of them are painted with, either painted with Mod Podge as a sealant or painted with actual color to augment the color they already are or to change the color that they were. So all of these have covers that are made from file folders treated to look like leather. One thing that I've been doing on pretty much all of my travel journals, for the most part, I think I've done them on all of them, is taking washi tape, like try to find a wide band of washi tape, and take the washi tape and cover the edges, because these are, for the most part, these are 2 layers of manila folders that were, or not manila folders, file folders, hanging file folders that were treated to look like leather and then glued together. So it gives it more durability, more stability in the finished product. So most of these you're going to see, you're going to have washi tape sewn on around the edges. They're going to be 2 layers. Some of them are embossed. I think all of these are painted or sealed in some way, form, or fashion. And they are wraparound binding. Some of them are elastic wraparound binding, and some of them just have yarn as a closure and as a wraparound binding. I bought a bunch of hair ties from Daiso, and I was like, oh, these will be these will be awesome. And so I am still trying to use them up. I have a lot of them left because they don't necessarily play nice with thinner forms of paper than these, and I need to make more file folders. I think I've almost used all the file folders that I've already treated, so I need to treat another batch before I can make too many more travel journals. So I'm going to open, I'll open this one just because I kind of like how the theme of this one came together. But I'll show you what it contains, and all the others, I'll just show you the outside and the embellishments, and then you'll know that the insides, for the most part, are going to be the same. So this is yarn braided, actually. I think this is yarn braided. And I think I braided 6 strands together to get it a little bit thicker, because sometimes when I braid it, it gets really, really small. And when they're that small, when you use them to tie things, it can tear what you're using to tie, even though the file folder is probably not as susceptible to that. But when I first braided them, I was thinking to use them for the binding, the wraparound binding. So that would have possibly torn into or damaged the edges. Like, as you can see, this one has a little bit. So I loved how this one came out. This is the kimono series of washi tape that is available on Jet Pins is where I got it. It's also available on Amazon, but the prices are better on Jet Pins. And there's probably other stores that have it. It's just the kimono series. I can't remember if it's MT or one of the other brands. And I have some more somewhere, but I probably don't have it to where I can get it fast enough to show you the brand. If I think about it, I'll put it in the description. So again, file folders, tri-fold. You've got 2. Oh, I've got it upside down. You've got 2 signatures, one wrapped around, one bound on each side. And since these are elastic wraparound binding, you can take them out, put them back in, whichever way you want. This is literally just legal size paper folded in half with cardstock. What I did with all of the signatures is you'll have one piece of cardstock that's plain, just basically to protect the embellishments, one piece of cardstock with a raw paper pocket that's wrapped around, one piece of cardstock with a regular paper, kind of like this is the Daiso construction paper that I mentioned before, wrapped around, and then 15 pages or 15 sheets folded lengthwise, and so that gives you 30 pages of actual places you can write. And of course, they all have a writing board that you can either, these for the most part have lines on them, so you don't necessarily need the line part, but the writing board gives you still that stable surface that you can write on if you are not at a desk or something like that. So, again, you have the other halves of the pockets and whatnot on the back of the paper, or the back of the signature. And this one is the exact same thing. You've got the one piece of cardstock to protect, a piece of cardstock with a raw paper pocket, piece of cardstock with a Daiso construction paper pocket, and then 30 sheets of 15 pages, legal size pages folded in half that already have lines on them. And then bound in with elastic, just the wraparound elastic. I tied the elastic and then doubled it. And that for this size, for these particular elastics, worked great. For the ones, these thin ones that I haven't used yet, they're too long actually, because when I tie them and double them, they're too loose. And when I try to triple them, they tear the paper because they're so skinny. So that is why, one of the reasons why I have not used them yet. So for the most part, I've been binding these where I put the signature that's in this side in first, and then fold this one on top of it, and then put the writing board, and then this is not attached, but it's long enough to where you can wrap it double. Hold on, hard to do this with and hold it at the same time. Oh, and I didn't, this is not a tutorial on how to tie a journal. Closed. Okay, here we go. So yeah, the braided yarn binding is long enough to where you can wrap it around twice or tie a really, really fat bow. I don't know if you could do it this way. If you could do, I didn't test it lengthwise. I just tried to make them longer so that if they become super fat, you can still wrap them with this particular binding. So that is that one. And again, I'm not going to open them all up. They're the same things on the inside, just with different colors of cardstock and different colors of construction paper. I'm just going to show you the outside embellishments. This one is more of the elastic, braided, or actually this is crocheted yarn, crocheted yarn tie, braided, or not braided, elastic on this side and the other side. And this one, the primary colors are like a turquoise blue kind of color, like a sky blue, aqua blue kind of color. But the same thing with the signatures and the writing board. And this is the washi tape that I put around the edge of this one. The colors that it's painted with are a mixture of pink, green, and copper. And it came out really nice. I'm not sure how this is going to look on the screen, on the camera, but I really, really love how the colors came out when I mixed them together. I'm usually not very good at creating those kinds of patterns, so anytime one comes off successfully, I'm thrilled. This one is sort of the same thing, the same colors actually, but I've got a little bit of extra, a really brighter green on this one. So you've got the pink, the copper, and the brighter green than the other one has, but it still came out very well. And again, the same, the cardstock color tones are with the yellow, orange, and teal, turquoise, not teal, turquoise kind of color. It kind of matches this bright green color out on the outside, and with a yarn, braided yarn closure. This one, the cover is actually embossed, and the covers for all three of these, actually, they are not trifolds. They are travel journal size, but they are only folded in half because I made these, when I made the first batch of file folders that I treated to look like leather, I tore them in half so I could work with them a little bit easier instead of working with the ones that were, the full-size hanging folders that were opened up. That's why these are so large, is because they're full-size hanging folder opened up. And these are half of a hanging folder cut in half along the... I thought that seam would create a weakness, but when I glued these together, that weakness was eliminated. So these are from the first batch of paper that I treated. And I learned a lot of lessons. But this one is actually embossed with a leaf pattern, one of the Tim Holtz leaf patterns from Sizzix, if you're familiar with that. You've got the same thing with the washi tape sewn around the edges, braided yarn closure. This one actually has yarn wrapped around as the binding method. Actually, I'll open this one because I don't remember. I think I did the same thing with the signatures inside this one, where it's paper. And, well, I guess not. Yeah, so this one, I'm not sure how many pages it has. I was trying to keep 30 pages or 30 sheets in each signature. And also, one thing I did, you may remember a video from a while back where I talked about how when I first learned to treat heavy paper, cardstock paper, craft paper to look like leather, it involved putting oil or wax on the paper. I am no longer doing that, but I still have a lot of paper left over from that. And this is an example of one of those pieces of paper that's left over from that. So since I didn't want to just throw it away because it was embossed and looked nice and didn't want to waste the stuff that I'd made, I put like paper that you wouldn't write on either side of the pocket to protect the other pages in the rest of the journal. That didn't quite work on this one. I am sad to have seen that, but glad I found it before I put it out for sale. Okay, so this one may have to come apart and get different paper in it, and I may have to throw away all these after all, but we'll see. But yeah, so that's this one. So it's probably got 30 sheets, probably. It's got a writing board, and it's got pockets that are filled with oil, and oil is unstoppable. Showing again. So I'll probably need to check the rest of them and see if any more of them have that in there as well. And this video is over 11 minutes, so let me hurry up. Okay, so two more that are legal size that are not trifolds. I'm not going to open up any more of them, but I'm glad I opened that one so I could see that. Again, washi tape around the edges and then sewn down to stick, because washi tape doesn't, it just doesn't, it's designed to be masking tape. It's designed to not have a whole lot of adhesion, so you can remove it, move it, and change places with it and whatnot. So that's why I usually will either sew it down or put it on with the glue in addition to the adhesive that's on the back of the tape. So this is from, I think this is from a Van Gogh series of washi tape based on Van Gogh paintings. Starry Night would be this one, which I really, really enjoyed, and I've used it up faster, and I may have to buy some more because I really like those patterns. So this one has a travel theme washi tape around the edges. And because I learned that since this one is a wide band and I only put one in there, and I don't like how that is, I knew it was going to happen, but I don't like how that is because you can catch on things, it could tear, all kinds of things could happen. So when I used the washi tape on some subsequent ones I made, I put it as close to the edge as possible so I would have room to do another stitch on the other end of the washi tape. So this one has also got, actually this is the leather strap by wraparound binding that I got from Daiso. And this is braided plastic ribbon that I used for the closure that I mentioned before. The blue ribbon, it says happy birthday on that. It was something I got for my 50th birthday party. And I didn't want to use it for happy birthday, so I braided it to hide the fact that it says happy birthday. But now everybody knows because I'm telling everyone on my YouTube channel. So there is that one. I'm going to put this one to the side. I got to come back and see what I'm going to do about that. And I had this, I don't remember what it's called, the little clip, the little, whatever it is, but I'm not confident in the fact that it won't damage the paper. So basically the reason this one has two ties on it is because I'm testing to see what this does over time. But this is what will go with it. I may or may not keep this on here, but this is where it is right now. So on this one, again, it's green file folders, and I painted over it with a bright green. And I really like how this came out, but I think I had my sewing machine is hit or miss on whether it will sew through the two layers of file folder or not. Sometimes it will, like you see on some of the others, and sometimes it just gets unhappy for whatever reason. So I tried a couple different stitches on this one. I left it a single layer where it was just the one layer of tape folded over on the edges, and with the full layer of the tape so you can see it. Basically, I just put one layer and then put the whole thing over so you can see the whole pattern, because I really like this travel pattern on this one roll of washi tape that I have, that I might need to buy more of because I think I'm almost out. But that didn't come out as well as I'd liked it. So, but it works. It's holding the tape down and it's keeping things together. So there's that. This one, again, 2 signatures, elastic on the ends, and then a braided yarn closure. Okay, now these two are not made from file folders that were treated to look like leather. This was something that I was trying to do just to see what would happen. Hanshi paper is paper that is used to practice Chinese or Japanese or Korean calligraphy. It's intended to be used with a brush, with an actual brush and ink and whatnot. It is made from. It's almost like Chinese rice paper, not the kind you do with food. The rice paper that's very, very thin. I don't have any handy to where I could show you what it looks like when it's not treated, but I use fountain pens most of the time, and fountain pens do not like Hanshi paper. But I bought a lot of it before I realized that. So I was wondering, well, what other things can I do with this Hanshi paper? So when I was using it to practice calligraphy, one thing that I found out was that some of the inks, like this one, is I think it's Sailor Suboku. I'm not sure how you say that ink. Does not feather or bleed or whatnot. And I didn't know this until afterwards. So I took layers of Hanshi paper and practiced the calligraphy with writing the names like Sumire, Dategokoro, Zaza. Some of you may recognize those are some of the Sailor ink series. Hara Hara is that one right there. So I was practicing my calligraphy by writing the names of the inks so I could keep all my pens from drying out in the nibs, letting the ink dry in the nibs. And then I was like, well, maybe I could use this and glue a whole bunch of layers of Hanshi paper together. Maybe it would be something that I could use as like a book cover, or just something that would be decorative. So these all open because they're slightly different. They're the same things inside, but they're slightly different from the travel journals. I did the elastic, and this is what I was saying before about when I tripled the thin elastic bands, they were too tight for these, but these are actually only, I think they're, I don't remember, but I think they're only 8 inches wide. I think they're only 8 inches tall, actually. Since I've got you here, they are 9.5. They are 9.5 inches tall, so they're shorter. So I could do the elastic triple, and it doesn't tear the paper much. I went ahead and stuck with it just because I've got the sewing around it, and the sewing is basically protecting the rest of the paper. But I never remember how I do that particular tie method after the fact. So you've got, I took a bunch of copy paper and copied lines onto it. My Instant Ink subscription is not happy with me right now. But since this one is closer to legal size, only 9 inches, this is actually legal size paper folded 3 ways. So each page opens up like this instead of just being one page. So you've got that going on, and that's one thing that's definitely different from the other ones that I've made. And same things on both sides. Both signatures are legal size paper folded sideways, and then with an extra fold on the other end. So therefore there are no pockets or any other embellishments. There is, of course, a writing board, so you have something that you can bear down on, but the lines are not as obvious on these because every page has lines on it already. So this was something that I decided to try specifically to put something in these, and I may go back and put grommets in to run the elastic through the grommets instead of over the edges of the paper because of the way it's crimping the edges, but I may not, just because it's as crimped as it's gonna get. And if I was going to do that, I'd have to cut the elastic to run it through the grommets because it's tied. It's tied together, and I tied it really, really tight so it wouldn't come apart. So if it did come apart and I could untie it, that would kind of be bad. So that is basically the way both of these are, I think I only used the elastic on this one and didn't like how it came out and how it crunched. So on this one, I actually used yarn, the braided yarn, crocheted yarn to tie it down, and used one of the Daiso leather straps to, how did I do that? I see how I did it. Then when I go try to do it again, when I tie it back, it just doesn't work. So I'm not even going to try. But again, same thing, hanshi paper, layers and layers of hanshi paper, glued together and sealed with like Mod Podge. And only one of the sheets had writing on it because I expected the ink to bleed when it got wet. So one of the center sheet has writing on it. The ones on top do not. And layered it together with Mod Podge and sealed it with Mod Podge and sewed around the edges. And the yarn, the wraparound yarn binding is much nicer to the edges than the elastic binding, but that's how it came out. Okay, cool. So those are all the travel journals, and I think this video is getting to 20 minutes, which is way longer than I like these to be. So I'll figure that out. So next, I'll do a separate video for the other wraparound binding journals that I did in a few minutes.